Number 8. Ashley GUINDON. Rookie police officer Ashley GUINDON of the Prince William County Police Department in Virginia was responding to a domestic disturbance call in Woodbridge in February of 2016. The incident occurred during 28-year-old GUINDON's first shift on the job. Active duty Army Staff Sergeant Ronald Williams Hamilton had been engaged in a heated argument with his wife, Crystal, which devolved into a physical altercation. The 29-year-old woman was able to call law enforcement before Hamilton killed her by shooting her in the back. As GUINDON approached the home with 2 other officers, Hamilton opened fire on them as well. Jesse Hempel and David McEwen, both in their 30s and veterans of the force, were injured in the shooting and survived. GUINDON, who was also a member of the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve, was struck by gunfire and succumbed to her injuries in a local hospital. Hamilton was arrested at the scene while law enforcement recovered a .45 caliber pistol and a rifle from his home. During his trial, GUINDON's mother called him a vicious, cold-blooded, heartless killer, while Crystal's mother nearly collapsed in the witness box, referring to him as a coward. A jury deadlocked on giving Hamilton the death penalty before he was sentenced to 7 consecutive life terms in September of 2018. Number 7. Dylan Harrison. On October the 19th of 2021, Dylan Harrison was on his first shift as a part-time officer with the Alamo Police Department in Georgia. The 27-year-old initiated a traffic stop in the parking lot of the Circle K opposite the station. An unnamed suspect refused to give up his information and engaged Harrison in a verbal altercation that escalated to him pushing the officer. Harrison consequently used his taser on the aggressive man, and he was subsequently taken to the Wheeler County Jail. He was later revealed to have been an associate of 43-year-old Damian Anthony Ferguson, who had a lengthy criminal record that included felony arson, theft, and aggravated assault on an officer. Ferguson approached the station later in the day, ambushed Harrison in the parking lot, and shot him dead before fleeing the scene. The officer was survived by a wife and a 6-month-old baby. A manhunt was launched, and on October the 10th, a Georgia SWAT team and the U.S. Marshals Service took Ferguson into custody at his residence without incident. In December, a Wheeler County grand jury indicted him on several counts that included malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault on a peace officer, and bias-motivated intimidation of first responders. As of 2022 updates, Harrison pleaded not guilty to all the charges levied against him. Number 6. KAITLYN Walls. Texas woman KAITLYN Walls from the Colony was fired over a Facebook post before she even got a chance to head into work at a daycare center in 2015. The 27-year-old single mother's choice of words was in stark opposition to what her employer would have been expecting of her. As she wrote on the platform, "I start my new job today, but I absolutely hate working at daycare." The message was shared around local groups, including one that was centered on yard sales and had over 8,000 followers. A number of social media users began criticizing and insulting Walls, with one going as far as to say she had the bubonic plague. The woman's day continued spiraling downwards when her would-be employer got wind of the social media exchanges. Walls was contacted and told that she needn't bother coming into work as her position had been terminated. The woman later talked to a local media outlet and explained that she was devastated by the outcome of her post. Walls maintained that she'd never meant to offend anyone, adding that as a mother herself, she didn't hate children and had merely been venting. Number 5. Lawrence Davis. A worker's first day at work shouldn't be his last day on earth, commented an Occupational Safety and Health Administration employee while examining the tragic death of Lawrence Daquan Davis. In August of 2012, Davis was a temporary worker at a Bacardi bottling core facility in Jacksonville, Florida. He was cleaning glass from under the hoist of a palletizer, a machine that stacks cases of the parent company's well-known rum. A second employee then restarted the palletizer, and Davis was fatally crushed by it. A YouTube video reviewing surveillance footage from inside the plant and explaining the circumstances leading up to Davis's death has since been viewed close to 19 million times. He was survived by a fiancée, Alicia, who was reportedly expecting their first child in October. A subsequent OSHA investigation into the matter revealed that Bacardi bottling temporary employees hadn't been trained in lockout-tagout procedures to prevent the accidental startup of machines. The company was cited with 12 safety violations, 2 of which were deemed willful and 9 serious. It was fined $192,000 and, in a later statement, claimed it had resolved all the safety and health issues identified by OSHA. Number 4. TREVOR WEHNER. On February the 15th of 2019, TREVOR WEHNER was on the first day of his human resources internship at the Henry Pratt Company industrial valve manufacturing plant in Aurora, Illinois. 21-year-old WEHNER was a student at the Northern Illinois University and set to graduate in May. A number of media outlets reported him as being in the meeting when 45-year-old Gary Martin was told that his employment was being terminated. The latter had been expecting to be fired from his 15-year position at the company and brought a laser-sighted handgun into the factory. He went on a shooting spree and WEHNER was among the first victims to be gunned down. Martin also claimed the lives of an HR manager, a plant manager, a forklift operator, and a stockroom attendant, ranging in ages from 32 to 55. Martin injured another worker who subsequently recovered and then engaged responding police officers in a shootout. 4 members of law enforcement sustained non-life-threatening gunshot wounds, and a 5th was struck by shrapnel before they shot and killed Martin. Aurora police later revealed that the gunman had been arrested 6 times in the past for offenses that included domestic violence and violating a restraining order. Additionally, he had served a prison sentence in Mississippi for aggravated assault in the mid-1990s, which barred him from legally owning a firearm in the state of Illinois. Number 3. Francis ARTEY. Rookie Massachusetts city bus driver Francis ARTEY was on his first ever route on June the 24th of 2013. Simultaneously, at around 5 p.m., Laura Erickson was at her Worcester home with her 3 sons. The woman was in the shower when the Worcester Regional Transit Authority bus driven by 27-year-old ARTEY crashed deep into her house, reportedly reaching as far as the cellar. Erickson would later recall seeing the toilet fly out of the wall. As emergency workers responded to the incident, Erickson was taken out on a gurney, but neither she nor her family was reported to have sustained serious injuries. There were 4 passengers on the bus at the time, all of whom emerged from the wreck largely unscathed. ARTEY, however, was freed after about an hour, as he'd become trapped between the house and bus. When a tow truck eventually removed the vehicle from the building, it became evident that its front had been obliterated and replaced with massive pieces of the home's wall. ARTEY was left in critical condition and rushed to a local hospital where he underwent life-saving surgery. An extensive investigation into the incident revealed he'd been at fault in the crash, and he was charged with driving negligently as to endanger, failure to stay within marked lanes, and speeding. Today's topic was requested by Hayes My Life, Mike Dunham, and Emperor Chow. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. ERCIO Perez Jr. ERCIO Perez Jr. was helping transport a large piece of industrial machinery during his first day at Navan Hire Hardware and Safety Training Limited in Ireland on January the 16th of 2016. He was holding a heavy hydraulic press as it was being moved on a forklift. The industrial vehicle was being operated by the company director's 18-year-old son, whom it would later emerge hadn't received the proper training in handling it. The press was roughly 5.5 feet high and precariously standing upright on the prongs of the forklift, with Perez holding support in its side. The machinery hadn't been adequately secured and it toppled over, falling on 20-year-old Perez and crushing him beneath its weight. The man's father, ERCIO Perez Sr., worked for the same company. He would later recall seeing his son on the ground covered in blood and claimed that the harrowing image would live with him forever. The younger Perez passed away from his injuries and an investigation was launched. The company was fined the equivalent of over $160,000 for several breaches identified by the inquiry. A judge, however, concluded that the violations hadn't been deliberately committed to maximize profits and that the fatal accident had stemmed from a naive attempt at completing a difficult task. The company assisted with repatriating Perez's body to his native Brazil, while also covering the family's travel and funeral expenses. Number 1. Charles Punter. On December the 12th of 2011, at the end of his first day at a job with a company called Max Impact, English marketing man Charles Punter from Colchester, Essex, was planning on taking a bus home. Co-worker Rebecca Price, aged 29, then offered him a lift, and the pair then set off in her Ford car. While driving at roughly 45 miles per hour on a stretch of road between Tiptree and Colchester, where the limit was 30, Price lost control of her vehicle. She was in the process of rounding a bend when she smashed into an oncoming Ford Ranger. Price, a mother of one, survived, but 25-year-old Punter suffered fatal injuries in the crash. Investigators deduced that she'd been speeding, and during the ensuing trial, the woman pleaded guilty to causing death by careless driving. She was given a 6-month suspended sentence and banned from driving for 2.5 years. Through a representative, Punter's family expressed deep disappointment that Price hadn't been given a custodial sentence, adding that the perceived light punishment was not a sufficient deterrent for other reckless drivers. Thanks for watching. If you were to live the same day on repeat, would you rather it was your first day of high school or work? Let us know in the comments section below.